Hey, fourth grade. Today we are going to add to our persuasive paragraph outlines before we start our first draft. Remind yourselves about author's purpose. An author writes for three different reasons: to persuade, to inform, and to entertain. We can remember this through the acronym PIE. This week we are going to persuade. When an author writes to persuade, the author tries to convince the reader to do or believe something, and the reader is inspired to act or to learn more. When an author writes to inform, the author gives facts about the topic, and the reader learns new information about the topic. An example of this is when we wrote our civil rights movement essay. When an author writes to entertain, the author tells a happy, sad, funny, or scary story, and the reader enjoys reading the story or has fun reading the story. An example of this would be Dogman. Today, we're going to focus on persuasive writing, and persuasive writing is when you tell your opinion. However, instead of just telling your opinion, it also tries to make people feel the same way you do about the topic. Remember, your opinion is what you think, what you feel, and what you believe. When you try to persuade others to also have your opinion, you are trying to get the reader to do something or believe what you are saying. So your writing really has to convince others to think the way that you do. An example of persuasive writing that we see in everyday life are commercials. When you convince your teacher to give you less homework, when you convince your parents to let you stay up later, those are all examples of when you are trying to get someone to think the way that you do. We are going to refine our paragraphs using the Oreo method today. You are going to state your opinion about our topic. You are going to give your three reasons. But we're going to go a little bit farther, and you are going to give examples that support your three reasons. And then to wrap up your paragraph, you're going to give your closing sentence, which is just a restatement of your opinion, but you're going to give it a little bit of oomph. You're going to give it a little pop. It's going to be like our sizzling starter, but this time it's our sizzling closing statement. Our topic is learning at home versus learning at school. I looked through a lot of your graphic organizers from yesterday where you stated your opinion and you gave your three reasons. However, I noticed that a lot of those graphic organizers didn't include our sentence starters that'll make our paragraphs really, really strong. So I'm going to help you guys add those in today. Here are some sentence starters that you can use when you are stating your opinion and when you are writing your first sentence. In my opinion, I think, I feel, I believe, I prefer, and my favorite. I am going to give an example of a paragraph, and my topic was, do I prefer teaching at school or teaching at home? Okay, here is my opinion. This is how I feel about that topic. I'm going to use one of my sentence starters. I believe teaching at school is much more meaningful than teaching online. And to support that opinion, I am going to provide some reasons. Here are some sentence stems that you can use in front of each of your reasons. To start, I miss my students and the school community. Another reason is that it is hard to balance work and home life. And most importantly, teaching face-to-face is much more effective. So you can choose any of these sentence starters for each of your reasons, and they'll go right in front of your reason. Now, to tie into these reasons, to support these reasons even more, I'm going to give an example for each one of these reasons. So let's take a look at my reason number one. To start, I miss my students and the school community. For example, I can't give my students a hug every day. I used a providing examples slash detail sentence starter to really make that one pop. Now let's look at reason number two. Another reason is that it is hard to balance work and home life. In other words, I sometimes lesson plan all day long without taking a break. That's true. Oh my goodness. It's a long day. And let's take a look at my final reason, my third reason. Most importantly, teaching face to face is much more effective. And I am going to back that up with this example. In fact, I see more student growth at school. These examples make my reasons even more powerful, and they show readers that I actually know what I'm talking about and that you should maybe believe me because I gave some good evidence. Now, for my very last sentence of my paragraph, I am going to restate my opinion, but I'm going to add a little bit of emotion, and I'm also going to add this transition sentence. As you can see, teaching should be done at school, not at home, because it benefits both teachers and students. Your job for today is to go to ClassKick and enter this code, TJURBT. You will fill out the Oreo graphic organizer using transition sentences and giving examples for each of your three reasons. Tomorrow we will write our first drafts. You rock. Sorry, I always do food videos. I must be hungry every time I do these. Good job, fourth grade.